right, we're live. Welcome back to Buffalo Happy Hour. What's up, Mike?
Derek, we're in your heaven.
I know. Coffee heaven.
Yes.
As soon as you walk through the door, it's just beautiful smell. We're here with the people from Premium Coffee Roasters. How are you guys?
Good. How are
Hey,
you?
Mike. Hey, Derek. How are you guys today?
Very good.
Thanks for
Very
coming
good.
out.
Absolutely. So you want to tell us a little bit about your business you have here?
Sure. Yeah. So we are a family-owned and operated coffee roasting and retail store located on Route 5 in Lackawanna, Buffalo, New York area, about a half mile south of Ridge Road. We originally started roasting wholesale for different restaurants, offices, a lot of Greek diners, all different businesses in the local area. And since then, we've parted ways with that business, and we're focusing on retail, on our retail business in the store, fundraising, and our brand new operated barista bar, in which Morgan Sanchez here is operating the business.
Nice.
And we're just embarking on a little bit more of a retail operation.
So what made you expand from coffee into your other retail space as well? What was that thought process?
So my father actually started the coffee roasting business back in, I want to say 1995. And we used to get a lot of our restaurants used to say, hey, listen, everybody wants to try to find a place to get your coffee. And at that time, we were in Orchard Park, and we had no retail outlet. So we kept getting people coming in just in a random office. It was never retail. So then we decided when we moved here to do a little storefront.
Okay.
So the storefront it was just a follow-up from our wholesale operation and a lot of inquiring customers and people at the restaurants that were asking where they can get the coffee.
Cool.
Wow.
And we really expanded more into the flavored coffee. Is one of the things we differentiated about a lot of other coffee places is we have a very wide selection of flavored coffees: chocolate raspberry, French vanilla, hazelnuts. Morgan, what can you say about some of our favorite flavored coffees?
So I like the crazier flavors. I like cinnamon bun, blueberry cobbler, Valencia orange, and I like to mix the flavors. So I do
Nice.
French vanilla, hazelnut, birthday cake,
And what's the flavor of the month right now?
chocolate raspberry.
Nice.
Yes.
And every month we have a flavor of the month. That's $6 a pound.
We got a delicious
And we
back
offer
there
it-
too.
Excellent,
And we offer that in decaf as well.
Yes.
So
Okay, cool.
And then we also manufacture our own K-Cups, which is very unique.
Really?
We have a K-Cup packer that we make our own K-Cups, all different flavored coffees,
That's cool.
all the flavor of the month, and we have the ability to do any sort of customized K-Cups for anybody. So we do that. We do the K-Cups as well, which is obviously a growing segment. It was a pretty big investment to start producing those, but it's certainly the way of the future for a convenience standpoint.
Sure,
It's not as much as in my opinion, quality standpoint, because the best coffee is ground coffee, right? Fresh as can be when it's first ground, first in your cup. That's the best way to drink coffee at home.
So question for you, what way do you like your coffee the best? Is it French press? Is it just drip coffee, pour over?
I actually use a percolator at home.
Oh,
That's my
okay.
favorite. Yeah, so I use a percolator, but I grind. I only get half a pound at a time. Because I go through a lot of coffee. I drink a lot of coffee,
Yeah,
clearly.
yeah.
So I make sure I grind it really, really close to when I use it, and that's really one of the
Okay.
important parts of coffee is to have it in whole bean form as long as possible.
Nice.
Interesting. So for customers, you also have punch cards.
Yes,
Can
we
you
do.
talk about that?
Yes. So the punch cards are you buy 6 pounds of coffee, you get one free.
Okay.
So that goes for we do that. We can do that for a whole bean or our ground coffee, and it's one of our a great thing to get people to come back, and we just want to share. We appreciate the customer so much. We're a family-owned business, and it's just our way of giving back a little bit to entice people to come check it out and to appreciate their business. And that's one thing that we really strive on is local and family-owned, and we really try to. Our employees here, from here and on the coffee trucks, are all. We treat them all we think of them all as family.
Sure.
It's a family-owned and operated business, and we're very proud of the employees we have, and we're very appreciative of our customers. And we also have a Senior Tuesday special,
Oh, cool.
which, Morgan, what is the special for that?
The special for Senior Tuesday is $3 off a pound, up to 4 pounds. So instead of $9 a pound, it's $6 a pound. Decaf 7 as opposed to 10. And did you say we do punch cards for K-Cups and cups of coffee too?
No, yes. So we also do K-Cup. We also do punch cards for K-Cups and cups of coffee for our new barista bar. And what other specials do we have, Morgan?
We have veterans. We
do veterans discounts,
You can get that
absolutely.
any day. It doesn't have to be. It's not a certain day. So
Law enforcement. We give discounts to law enforcement as well.
Awesome.
How did you guys get so many different blends and different beans? Can Can you talk about that?
Sure. So we had, believe it or not, it's simple as a bean from a different altitude growth or a different shade has different character. So as coffee's developed, especially in this Western New York market, you've had to expand your selection. So we've tried all different coffee beans from all different countries. So we get our beans from Colombia, from Mexico, from Guatemala, from Costa Rica. We have all different. Ethiopia. That's one of our newest ones. We have a new, we call it our Premium Select brand, and it's a higher end single origin coffee, which is they're much more expensive, and they're grown at at the best altitudes and the best shade as possible. They're washed, they're polished, they're a real high end bean.
And the Nicaraguan is actually organic. We had a lot of people asking for organic coffee, so we do offer that now.
Mm-hmm. So each bean grown at is a little bit of a different altitude to change its character. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really a unique thing to see a farm. Unfortunately, I've never been able to get out there, but I've met with multiple farm owners throughout going to trade shows and stuff like that, and how they actually grow the beans is remarkable. I mean, it's such a interesting operation. It's so important to keep the right fertilizer, to water appropriately, to make sure the shade isn't in the right place.
What's the correct altitude? Do you know?
I don't know. Everything's a little bit different. Okay. I don't know specifically, so I don't want to. I don't want to jump down that one. But actually, Morgan, if you read it, it's on one of those Ethiopian stickers.
I can go grab,
right on the poster right there.
I'll go grab them.
That's so cool. I did not know that altitude matters.
It does, big time, yeah. And there's for example, one of the higher end blends, Kona coffee, which a lot of people have from Hawaii, that's actually grown in volcanic ash, and it's at a certain altitude, and that's one of the unique things with it.
The Nicaraguan is 1,300 meters, and the Ethiopian is 900 to 1,500 meters.
Okay.
And the harvest seasons for most of the coffees are opposite seasons. So in the winter they're harvesting, and in the summer they're picking. I believe is the type of. Actually, right here it is. So for the Yirgacheffe, the Ethiopian Yirgacheffe, its altitude is 900 to 1,500 meters. The harvest season is October to February, and it's available in January from May. So they even have certain seasons you have to pick the coffees.
No kidding. So what's the lead time to get beans from the source to here?
So you actually have to buy future contracts of coffee. So that's kind of one of the interesting purchasing styles of coffees. You actually have to buy contracts like you do on the stock exchange. It's on the commodities exchange, and you buy certain contracts of coffee, and that's when the speculators get involved and drive up the market. It hurts a lot of the small businesses because your price goes up. They hold it all,
right, and then
your price just gets driven up, and then sooner or later they release it and the price dips. It happens. It's pretty cyclical, and it does go up and down every couple of years pretty substantially, and that's why you see price increases on coffee a lot. But it takes you buy the contracts, and it's pretty quick actually. Mm-hmm. These brokers are pretty big. You deal with some big brokers that ship them into the central terminals. I know there's a terminal in New Jersey where they ship the carload, the containers of coffee. A container is like a big semi truck type thing, and there's also one in Texas, and it just depends on which port of entry the coffees are coming into.
Gotcha. Wow. So what's the standard length of a contract?
It's 30,000 pounds. So it's
so it's based on pounds, not
yes.
time.
If you buy a contract yourself, we don't purchase like that anymore.
Okay.
We buy a much smaller quantity from another reseller out of New Jersey. So they buy the contracts. We used to buy direct contracts when we were in the wholesale business. Sure. But now that we don't produce that much volume anymore, we do real retail and higher end style. So we buy smaller partials of a contract.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of different people who you could purchase these from all over New Jersey and New York and down in Texas. There's a lot of trade. They could buy the contracts from all different smaller companies.
Sure. When you get the beans in, obviously they're not chocolate raspberry flavored.
Correct.
So how do you add in your flavor? Is it natural flavors with actual chocolate and raspberry, or how are the flavors added in?
They're all natural flavors. It's a special blend that we formulated with a company that is customized to our specific needs and requirements, and then we also use a certain amount of portion of that per each bean. And one of the unique things we do with our flavored coffees that I find is awesome, and that's actually a lot of compliments to Karen, because she really is running the retail operation while Morgan's doing a lot of the barista and fundraising program, is we use a high-end bean to flavor. A lot of a lot of times they always say you can get away with a lower end bean when you flavor because the flavoring takes a lot of the
Masks it. Yeah.
correct. So we have decided for the best quality is we use a high end bean in our flavoring. It's actually there's no additives in there. It's a all natural product, and it's a great product that we are very very happy with.
Cool. That's awesome.
There's a lot happening.
Yeah.
So you own space behind where we're currently sitting, correct? This is just like the storefront per se?
Correct. The back is actually where we Queen City Foods, the coffee trucks that drive around. So we have 30 mobile catering trucks in Buffalo and 10 trucks in Rochester. And we actually sell the coffee to Queen City Foods, and it's our coffee on the coffee trucks. It was previously Pine Hill Coffee, if you're familiar with. Yeah, so that's the business that we've branched into.
Cool.
And we make our own pizzas. We manufacture all of our own products, and we go to all different construction sites, car dealerships, mechanics areas, mechanic bays, or mechanic shops, and bring them fresh coffee.
That's a sweet business.
And sandwiches and subs and everything.
I feel like people have seen those trucks all over the place, and they just don't know what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like once you hear about it, then you start seeing them everywhere. You're like, wait,
right,
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, we call them a gut truck.
Yes.
So they show up to the shop, and everyone knows it's all right. 9 o'clock. Go outside. Yeah. Go to the gut truck, and then all dudes wander outside like zombies, money in hand.
And that's quick. And that's our model. Is we really try to serve people fast to give them a good quality product, fast and efficient. Because a lot of people don't have long breaks, so we want to customize to them so they can get something quick and good to eat. Because everybody deserves a break, and it refreshes them.
So now, can a company request to have a truck come to them?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Morgan.
Yeah, we get multiple requests every day. The girls usually have like a set route, so they go to the same places every day. But if you just call, there's a truck in your area, and she will get to you. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
We have a website you can actually go to request a truck as well. It's queencityfoods.com.
Okay.
And the coffee retail operation is premiumcoffeeco.com.
Okay.
So you can request a truck right online or order our coffee online as well.
And then when did you guys open? Like what's the history of the store other than
so the store was
family business?
So the store was opened I'd say about eight years ago approximately, and the Queen City Foods trucks I started in April of 2015.
Yeah.
And so it's been growing. The store was, when we first started the store, it was completely empty. It was just 8 flavors of coffees. That's all we had. There was
How many do you have now?
Oh gosh.
We got about 25 to 30
Hurry up and
coffees.
count,
But then we had
about 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
and we expanded into gift baskets, and my mother actually makes all the gift baskets. So we do custom gift baskets for businesses. So it's a nice product to give for an event, for the holidays, or for any sort of boss's day, or or teacher gifts. She does all different custom things. You can put your mug in it with a coffee, chocolate, and tea. I mean, everybody I know, someone drinks one of the 3, eats or drinks one of the 3 items. So it's a real nice, different gift because something everybody drinks in there.
Right. So working at a coffee place, do you ever get sick of coffee?
Never.
No.
I drink too much of it sometimes. Karen yells at me here. She
I
tells me to drink decaf, but I can't.
I drink a lot of cups by like 10 o'clock. I'm like ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
One of our service guys, Dominic, yesterday had an espresso for the first time, and he was beyond jittery yesterday. We were laughing.
He's like, I can't control myself. I was like, do you need to go sit down? Are you okay?
Yeah, we were teasing him all day for a little bit.
So when you're talking about caffeine in the coffee beans, that varies based off of what bean you have as well, right?
Correct. There's Morgan go into that a little bit more with the caffeine in the coffees. Espresso has more caffeine.
So, well, actually, our most caffeinated is the Tuscan.
Correct.
It's our highest caffeinated, and it has like low acidity. So if you have like acid reflux issues, that's good. I drank that one when I was pregnant because I had horrible heartburn, and the low acidity really helps with that. So, yeah.
What is? No, go for it.
So, the bean, the
Might have to come just a
This
little
is
bit
the
closer,
coffee
though.
lady.
This is the coffee lady. Crazy.
Yeah, no,
we
come
call
on,
her
come
Crazy
on over.
Karen.
Come on
Thanks,
over.
Karen. Jump in here a
the
little bit.
Robusta bean is the bean that carries the caffeine.
Do you want it?
Okay.
So if a blend has a lot of Robusta bean in it, that's going to have a lot of caffeine. People think, oh, darker roast,
cute.
less caffeine. That's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
It depends on if there's a lot of robust bean in it. So
Okay.
that's always what the case
Don't
is
local
there.
well, not local, but the commercialized coffee shops market dark roast a little bit differently? Because isn't dark roast not as caffeinated because it's mixed, or is that a misconception? I feel like I've heard that around.
When you the longer you, and Mike, I may be wrong here, so hopefully if I am wrong, I apologize. I don't. This isn't specific.
I asked the roaster to come in today.
Yeah, he didn't come in.
I'm going out with the guys. I don't know.
I believe that the darker the roast, actually less caffeine because it
Okay.
does roast longer. The Robusta beans are really what bring
Yes.
the caffeine into
Yes.
the coffee. And Robusta beans are actually a lower grade bean that
Oh,
are
okay.
in most espressos. Believe it or not, espresso beans there's a lot of Robustas in there.
Sure.
Because it gives it that kick.
Yeah.
And and we found, especially since the market changed about 5-6 years ago when it went over $3-4 a pound green. That's quadruple what it normally is.
Yeah.
That a lot of companies were mixing in Robusta beans with their regular coffees to offset the price from the wholesale side. And since then, it's sort of kind of stuck, and people have darkened their coffee and kept it. But we have all different blends. Any of our blends that we have 100% on, there's no Robusta beans in them.
Okay.
There's no Robusta beans in our flavored coffees. But it does give a little bit of a character to it, and there is some, I think, advantage. It gives you A, more caffeine, and,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
B, it's a different character of taste. And the dark.
A lot of people love the Tuscan too. It is so good.
Yeah, and the coffee, the dark bistro, there's no Robustas in it either. The one that you're drinking.
Okay. Cool.
That's a straight
This is very good.
Arabica blend. So there's Arabica
Yeah.
beans, then there's Robusta beans, and there's all different grades of Arabica.
Okay.
So you have high grown, you have high, medium, low grade Arabica beans. Then you have Robusta beans, high, medium, and low. So it's such a and Mike, our roaster, knows the ins and outs of that. And we actually had Roger, who started with us
So cute.
years and years ago. I think he's got to be 85 now. He's
Oh, gosh,
he's
I
a
don't know.
genius in the coffee world. He is just remarkable. He could taste something, he could tell exactly what's in it.
Really?
He's remarkable, and he's a great cupper. We call it cupping. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. Can I apply for this job?
You're hired.
Wait, I've been trying to get them to teach me how to roast, and
It's an art. It's really an art.
So how are you? Because like Mike was telling you when we started this, is we started in the whiskey world, and in the whiskey world you have your head distillers, which is mapping kind of to your roaster, like
Correct.
your head roaster. So what is the process around roasting beans, and like how long does that process normally take?
So the beans come in green. So you buy the beans in different contracts, and they come in actually in burlap bags. And we have lots of burlap. If anybody needs any burlap,
Gardening.
tons
Yeah.
and tons of burlap. So it comes in burlap bags, and you bring it into your roaster, and it actually expands and it sheds a husk, a skin type thing. And actually, coffee bean start as a cherry. It's a red cherry, and there's 2 coffee beans per cherry. And when the cherry opens, you get 2 beans out of it, and that's happens in the different countries that you're buying it from. And then they wash it, and then they bag it.
Sure.
So it goes into the roaster. That's grainer. It's roasted at about 400 to 450 degrees Fahrenheit, between 11 and 15 minutes. Every bean is different, and if you're off by 30 seconds, it completely changes the character. Even 10 seconds.
Sometimes Mike will be eating lunch and he'll have his little timer thing, and then he'll be eating lunch, and then his timer's about to go off, and he will run.
Sprint.
Run.
And Mike's a big guy, and
he's
he's
a big
sprint.
guy, and you know when he's walking like this,
Everybody gets out of
he's
his
either
way.
mad
Yep.
or a roast is about to.
And then it comes out, and we have a color analyzer that actually analyzes the bean to see we call it the color of the bean, that sort of gives us a gauge of the different coffee beans to try to be consistent each time, so we can see the right roasts coming out the right temperature.
When you roast, how much are you roasting at a time?
We roast about actually, believe it or not, you actually put 100 pounds of coffee in the roaster. You get about 85 pounds out.
Oh,
you
really?
lose
Okay.
15% in shrink.
I actually have a little fun fact about what you were just saying.
Was I wrong?
No.
Okay,
no.
good.
You were just saying how they
I was like, uh-oh.
the coffee beans
Fun fact.
I'm like, oh.
cherry, and then they wash it and stuff like that. Well, me and Karen just learned that the Nicaraguan is actually made with a honey process.
Yes.
So
Oh, okay.
they're actually there's a coating on the beans, and they put them out on the patio, and they let them sun dry. So
Oh,
yeah. So I
sweet.
think that's why it's organic, or I don't know.
It's
But yeah.
it's grown organic. They don't put pesticides in the growing process,
Sure.
which obviously that's a whole with fruit or vegetables or how a coffee bean is the same thing. It's if you grow it with the pesticides or not, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And it's the organic process.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that. So we went through roast, we went through history, we went through the storefront,
Yeah.
we went through contracts. To grow your business, initially it was all word of mouth, wasn't it?
It was.
Because that's how I found out about you guys. Because there was a lot of like local teachers, obviously love coffee.
Yes,
and they
absolute
all
teacher,
talked.
yes.
And then when they walked in to start their day, they're like, "What's that smell? That's not Folgers."
That's awesome.
And then they go into each other classrooms and they're like, "Well, I got Costa Rican blend from Premium. You got to try it."
That's awesome. That's
and
good
then
to
it
hear.
spread.
Yeah.
So that's how I found out, and I came here and was in kind of a shock because I didn't know there were that many options. So I was
Yes.
like, it's coffee. Like, what? And I used to work at Tim Hortons, which
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
yeah, but it's not the same as this.
No, it's
you know, like this is an art. you
Exactly,
know?
exactly.
So for you guys now, how are you growing your business other than word of mouth, which is obviously wonderful and organic? But
So I think we're kind of more present on like social media now. We just did an event with the Buffalo Spree.
Okay.
They did like a huge coffee crawl, and they started here, which was super fun. We did like a coffee and food pairing.
nice.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We're doing fundraising, so I think that's like getting out in a bunch of schools, and then people buy to help out the school and stuff, and then they get their coffee and they're like, oh my god, this is amazing, and then they come here. So yeah, we're really trying to grow in fundraising too.
We are located right on Route 5, and there's 50,000 cars a day that drive by our building, and then we have a LED sign out front. But I feel I think that was one of our initial real big pulls of people was the LED sign. But over time, I think your eyes kind of forget it's even there.
Yeah.
And we still get people constantly, daily coming in saying, "We never knew you were here. We didn't even know you could walk in this place."
Morning just did.
Yeah.
We're like, we did not set
Oh,
this up.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a fun
yeah,
story.
she was like so amazed.
You
Yeah.
guys met her on the parking lot.
Yeah, we paid her to come in.
We're
I
like,
get it,
ma'am,
I
can
get
you
it.
please come in here
Yep.
and say this?
It's we call it one of the hidden gems in Lackawanna, and Lackawanna's the local community here is fantastic, and they really support local. And I think people in Buffalo, especially, I have my brother who lives out in Seattle, and I think there's a big difference from Buffalo and a lot of cities. People love supporting local,
Sure.
and that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
really important thing for small businesses and for family business owners is supporting local. And most people, when they find out that this place is here and they try the coffee speaks for itself, we get a lot of recurring customers. So once you come in, we have a really good retention rate, which is very important because we keep our coffees all high end.
Right, and you have that card to make them come back.
Exactly,
to get their free bag.
exactly.
Yeah. So
and
what are your
she helps too.
Yeah.
Crazy
Oh, yeah.
Karen.
Oh,
She keeps
yeah.
them coming back.
Absolutely.
what are your hours here?
Our hours are Monday through Friday, 6 to 6, and then Saturday, 9 to 4, and we're closed on Sundays.
Okay.
We do have a new another thing that Morgan from the barista bar. We have a barista app. It's actually
Yeah.
if you go around to your app store, you can download its Premium Coffee Co.
Premium
app,
Coffee Co. Yep.
okay.
and you could order your coffee right on the way to work, and we bring it out to your car for you. So it's a new thing
Oh,
we
wow.
just started. So
What?
Yeah.
Yep, that's brand new. We just started that very, very recently.
No kidding.
And it comes right into our computer
Yep,
system.
I get it right on my phone. I get your order on my phone, so
Just put the make and model of your car. You don't got to get out of your car. We'll run right out to you. Morgan says hello, and she's got a great personality.
he
Cheers
usually
everybody
says
up.
something else, but
No! Somebody fun will bring it out to your car. We'll make you laugh in the morning. But it's one of our ways to modernize and to be not quite a drive-through because I think it takes a lot of the
Absolutely,
personalization away. But it does give us the same service, but a little more personal, which is one of our very important models, is being as a personal relationship with our customers.
yeah. Most people, we do have people that order off the app, but they come in to
Yeah.
get it so they could talk for a little bit. So I'm excited to get that one where I can bring it out to their car and
Yep.
see how that goes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Do you guys have food that you can match for breakfast, like egg sandwiches or?
Yeah, so that stuff, actually, it's not on the app because, so I have like an order that I get every single day, and they're in our cooler over there. You can pick whatever you want, and then I'll put it in the oven for you and cook it. But yeah, so they're not on the app, but if you come in here, we do have sausage, egg, and cheese on a pretzel roll, egg and cheese for people that
sweet.
don't eat meat, ciabatta breakfast sandwiches, those are so good. And a bunch of lunch options too.
Oh, okay.
And Paula makes soup and.
And we're hoping to expand more in the foods area once we get this app rolling.
Yeah.
And it's pretty. The barista bar is very new, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have smoothies and all different ice caps
We
for
do
the
have,
summer.
we
Yeah,
have
we do.
smoothies
Those are on the app now.
Frozen espresso. And, yeah.
Those are on the app as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow,
So the food's
that's
not
sweet.
quite on the app. We can always put it on the app, but we're one
If
step
you
at a
there's
time.
like a note section, if you want to just be like, oh, breakfast sandwich too, I'll make
Sure.
you a breakfast sandwich. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I didn't know any of that.
No, me either.
I
So
appreciate
fun.
I appreciate you guys coming here and learning about the business. And
Absolutely.
This is
Yeah, totally.
fantastic.
So to offer food and things like that, does that change licensing, and is that like another rung of red tape that you have to jump through to have it, or?
Well, it's actually nice because we have the coffee truck, so we have a permit for this facility.
gotcha.
Because we make the food here, so we do have a permit for the coffee trucks because we make all different food items. So it
Alright.
wasn't a big as a hurdle because we already set up for it.
So it's just a permit?
It's a permit, yeah, just
Oh,
a food,
okay.
yeah, just a health permit to cleanliness and to make sure you're following protocol, which we do.
Yeah, mop the
But-
floors.
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah, clean everything, 3 base sinks, bathroom, all that stuff. So we follow that to a T.
Okay.
Speaking of that, though, I'm assuming that the coffee trucks itself was an additional hurdle to jump over because that seems like that's a liability of all the drivers and everything like that too, right?
Yes, that's a big. Yes, absolutely. That was when we first started the business. It was we learned. I learned a lot. Put it
Yeah.
that way. You know,
Okay.
my father did start Pine Hill Coffee 30 years ago. Since sold it, and then I started Queen City some years later. And when Queen City started, there was just learning. It was all different. I was never in the food business prior. I've learned a lot through the years and inventory control and different products we can carry and all the different, oh my God, packaging. There's so much different packaging. Remember when the first day I started, I tested obviously all different packaging on stuff, but I never actually let it sit in the oven for a couple
All
hours.
day, yeah.
And I came back and everything was melted. so I remember I had to go and buy all
But there's
these.
been a lot of progress.
Yes,
since
that was 4 or 5 years ago, and since then we've developed different packaging. And I remember I had to go on Amazon and all these random websites and overnight these containers that cost me so much money because they were
Sure.
just retail.
Right.
But we had to get the product on the truck, and it was a ton of learning and a ton of growth. And I wouldn't change the learning for anything because it really brought me into a new mindset into how to grow different businesses and to take chances and to start this barista bar, for example. And
Yeah.
I had a lot of great help from staff, Morgan and Kate and Karen and Debbie and my mom and everybody,
Yeah.
Kathy, everybody has just been so supportive of the growth. And one thing I know people say it's a tough market to hire right now, but I gotta say I'm very fortunate, very blessed to have amazing staff.
That's great.
Something that I think is so unique, and I'm very grateful for them. From the drivers, all the drivers, to the kiosk, the Apple Tree. We actually have a barista bar in Apple Tree. It's
okay.
similar to this, but it's more of a restaurant service style.
Oh, sweet.
And we make all of it. We do catering out of there.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They make like the best food too. So if you have like parties and stuff like that, you can get they will cater your events or whatever you have, and they have amazing food.
Wow.
And that's actually the first barista bar. I gotta say, that was actually where we
Yes, I
started
know.
there, and that was where we took we took that place over. There wasn't a coffee station, or and I was like thinking to myself, how do we really differentiate ourselves to try some, to get a new clientele of the barista stuff? This, whether they're called Starbucks or whoever the barista bar is.
Sure.
And I'm like, let's take a chance on this. So we put a barista bar in there. We spent a substantial amount of money building it out and buying the equipment, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
The people that just come in, they don't go to Tim Hortons anymore.
Right.
And that's the nice thing about it is we have a captive audience there there's a lot of employees in Apple Tree.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah.
So
and
they've-
it's growing too.
It's
like-
growing drastically,
yeah.
and it's awesome. And the people there are so supportive, and they love supporting like the localness. And we have a great chef there. We have a great manager, and everybody who works there is very food quality driven and quality driven, which is very important to work for us. Is you have to really put quality first.
Oh yeah. How many roasters are there? Like roast companies like you that are roasting your own beans in Buffalo?
There's a good amount.
Okay.
I mean, McCullough Coffee is they're great. They actually have been working with Premium as far as the
Oh, okay.
wholesale side. So my dad's still affiliated with helping them with that segment, and they're a big roaster. They do a lot of the restaurants and different companies that we used to supply, and they're doing a fantastic job. There's a lot of smaller roasters out there that do some micro lots, they call them, which is a smaller batch roasting, which is great. I mean, all the quality is it's all on the beans, and it's all if smaller batches are sometimes give you a better taste profile. Right. We actually have the big roaster, but we only put half a roast in, just because we want to keep the quality small. We have the ability to put 120 pounds in our roaster, but we don't.
Gotcha. So we also talked a little bit about where you said that you weren't necessarily in this business your entire career, right? What did you do before this?
Correct. So I was actually in the restaurant business. I
okay.
I bartended, and I was waiting tables and serving, and I worked it for a little bit.
Okay.
And I decided this was the best. I always wanted to own my own business and sort of help people. And I came here and worked with my dad in the coffee side, and he's retired. And then I started the Queen City food side. Now he's back helping me. So try to retire, pull him in, pull him back in. He can't retire. My dad's great. He's awesome. He works so hard, and he's just a wealth of knowledge.
Sure.
And he's been in business for 50 years. I mean, he's just so intelligent. It's changed a lot over the years as far as the new marketing and the new social media, but the core of business, I don't think it's changed. How you treat people, how you treat your customers, how you treat your employees. And that's one thing he's really taught me, is how to treat people right. And I think that's why we continually get people coming in. And that's one of the most important things to me, is how you treat people and your customers and your employees like family.
Yeah. I mean, it's 100% true. When you're going to these different coffee places around Western New York, you don't get that connection with the drive-through people that you would want. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the times it's a younger person that's serving you, and that person might not be awake yet.
Correct.
So there's that disconnection between I'm buying a coffee from you, but there's no engagement from there. So the fact that you guys are doing this, where it's very engaging, and also you'll run it up to their car for them, it's just a completely different way to handle coffee, which is awesome.
Absolutely, and it's people business like anything, and the coffee truck's the same way. It's people business, and the drivers are fantastic at that. They just I say, listen, if you can go out there and make someone's day just by smiling, I go, that means the world to them, and they do a great job with that. And I'm very, again, fortunate for an amazing staff from all across the board. And at the fresh food side, which is where we make all the food, we do all different. We're actually a USDA FDA approved facility.
Oh, wow.
In Orchard Park, and we're actually putting up an addition next door to manufacture all of our food there.
Sweet.
And we're hoping that's going to
huge.
Yeah, so we're hoping that's going to expand some of our coffee barista ability, because there'll be more employees around this area and more people spreading the word throughout this community, and hopefully they'll give us a chance.
Well, cheers to that, man. That's huge.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
Cheers.
awesome.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah, we're really excited about that.
coffee.
We broke ground. We got the foundation in, so we're just waiting for the steel to get up, and everything's here, and we're ready to roll.
You're literally creating jobs.
Yeah, we got there'll be 100 and I'll have 110 employees once this, with the move now
really?
between here. Yeah, so
That sounds like a lot of paperwork.
it's a lot. I got some great people. I got a great general manager who's Debbie. I don't know what I could do without her. I mean, I got HR, all that stuff. So we're a growing company, and it all really stemmed from the coffee, I gotta say. I mean, this is a gold mine here. This is a great spot, and it's something I really am proud of.
It's cool
Seeing
too,
the growth
because
of
you'll
this.
see the same people here in Wegmans.
Yeah,
Like
they don't buy coffee at Wegmans. They just buy everything else but coffee.
It's such a local feel that you'll just see everybody around town. You're just like, "What's up, premium?" And everyone just like shouts at each other. And
Yeah, me and my mom, we always say, like, we'll go somewhere and we'll be like, this person looks so familiar. How do I know this person? And it's just because they come in here, or like people will say hi to us and we're like, hi. I think I know you. Where do I know you from? And then the next time they'll come in, we'll be like, yes, I saw you at Wegmans. Like, so yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And like, for example, like Morgan's got 3 beautiful kids, and they come in the morning, and we love having them around here. I know she cringes, but I love seeing them here. They play hide and seek with them in the mornings, and it's just a family atmosphere here. And if you could drop your kid off, Morgan will watch them.
Yeah, I will.
No, but it's just
one more.
it's a great
Right.
feel, and we love having that feeling here, and that's something I really want to keep always. Is even no matter how many employees or how big you get, to keep that family atmosphere is really important to me.
And I think that's why people like do love it here so much, because we kind of make them feel like, when they're going through something happy, like we feel so happy for them, and anything that they're going through in life, we kind of know about because they're regulars. And
Right.
It's kind of like a whiskey or a bar. It's same
Yeah,
type of
really.
thing. It's
Yeah.
sort of
Absolutely.
Morgan's a bartender sometimes.
Well, since we've been here, I mean, you guys have been open since we started recording,
Mm-hmm.
and every single person that walked in, Karen was just saying, "Hey, what's going on?" Like you guys know them very well,
yeah.
which is an amazing testament, and I believe that customer even wanted to say hi to you. So
Yes.
there's just everybody wants to just be a part of this thing that you guys have going
Yes.
on. Which, if you haven't been to Premium Coffee Roasters, you gotta come because this coffee's fantastic.
Thank you very, very
It is
much.
really good.
Yes, absolutely. And I got online. If you're not in the area, we could ship it to you online. We have free shipping over.
over 75.
So
yeah.
that's and there's all different products on there from chocolate. We're going to be adding our gift baskets to the website soon.
Yep.
So
Sweet.
So free shipping for $75 or more
Yeah.
per purchase
correct.
to anywhere within the U.S.
Anywhere from the U.S. or we do military bases, or
Oh, sweet.
really anywhere. So we would like to support the military and anything we could do to help that out as well.
That's awesome.
Okay, I'll give you an address.
Perfect. Sounds great.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We ship right to the United States Postal Service and.
Okay.
So, what is your coffee bags like? How much do they weigh? How much do they cost?
So we do up by where my mom is. Those are all 1 pound bags. We do half pounds, but
It's rare.
yeah. So those are 1 pound bags. You can get it whole bean or we can grind it for you. And then we do offer those bags right there are 2 pound bags. Those are a little bit cheaper because they're just beans. Like you just grab it and go.
Okay.
And then we have like a couple of our more popular ones, like the Colombian House and Decaf, and pre-ground 1 pound bags.
Okay.
And then how much is a 1 pound bag?
1 pound bag is $9 for regular flavored, $10 for decaf. The 2 pound bags, depending on what you get, are either 15, 17, or 19.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we do have 24 count cake cups, which are $12.50.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay.
We are priced very competitively from standpoint of a retail store. I mean, most of our prices, if you go into this Wegmans or Walmart and you try to buy a higher end
Right.
coffee,
You're paying for it.
You're paying for it, and it's inexpensive. I'm not sure the exact prices right now, but from last I checked, we were less expensive than those places.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's really
and everything is roasted and out of here within 3 days, so
So
like,
fresh.
Oh,
crazy
okay.
fresh.
Yeah, most of the time when it goes into a big box store, it goes from the roaster to a Northeast Division holder, and then it gets shipped to a smaller local place. Then it goes to the stores, and then it sits there. So the chance that coffee was roasted could be 6, 7, 8 months ago. Wow.
So here's a question: if somebody at home has a container of coffee already open, but they want to try your coffee, and they buy a 1 pound bag, and it's ground here, does it have to be used? Like, what's the shelf life
So
before it goes bad?
it'll last for a couple months, like, and it just gets like less fresh. Like you could still use it, but
It doesn't go bad. It
Yeah.
just changes. It's just the quality
as-
goes down.
if you
as time
keep
goes on.
it in a airtight container on your countertop away from sunlight, you don't have to put it in the fridge or freezer. It will stay fresh for a long time.
Okay.
Because one of the things, there's a couple things that destroy coffee's quality, and it's moisture and oxygen. So when you put it into a refrigerator or freezer, as some people tend to do, it actually creates moisture.
Right.
And that ruins the character and the quality of the coffee.
Okay.
So we highly encourage people not to put coffee in the fridge or freezer, just to keep it in an airtight container in their cupboard on their
Out of sunlight,
out
yeah.
of sunlight, and it really does keep it the best quality that it can happen.
Yeah. That's interesting. So I've always heard that coffee in the fridge is best.
You know what? And everybody's got their. I mean, from the research I've done and what I've learned throughout going to all these trade shows.
I
And
would trust
stuff,
you more than me.
I've learned that. Now, some people you can't talk them out of it, and they're gonna, But I think that we sell some airtight containers that are the
We do,
best.
yes. And if you buy an airtight container, you get a pound of coffee filled free.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's good to know. I'll probably get that before I leave.
Seriously, that
Sounds
that
great.
changed my whole day.
Yeah. I drink coffee all day. Every
That's
day.
awesome.
Like I have a pot in the morning basically, and then at work I'll grab more too.
That's a
I
pot
drink a
in the morning.
lot.
Good for
Yeah.
you.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's disgusting.
Well, my heart
for
doesn't
you.
race so much. Yeah. So,
Good for
But
you.
at work I don't have an airtight container, so I normally go out and buy like a package of it. But then I'm only at work 2 days a week too, so eventually it'll get stale. Not bad, but stale.
So we have like for fundraising we do like airtight or like vented bags.
Oh,
if you
okay.
come here and you want a vented bag for your coffee, we have them. So
So what does a vented bag do?
just
It vents, dude.
It's
Yes.
yeah. Come on now. It's you seal the bag.
It's like a Ziploc
resealable bag.
Oh, it's a resealable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Resealable bag. Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, because like sometimes you'll get that.
Do you want me to go grab one?
Sure, if you want to. But sometimes you get that like twist tie type thing, and then you just twist it down and then lock it.
That's what it will come in.
Okay.
And then you can take it home and put it in your
Gotcha. Okay.
container or whatever. But the other bags are like it's got like the Ziploc
That's
thing
cool.
on it, and yeah.
Yeah, and it keeps it tight, and it actually has because coffee actually degasses. So when coffee is roasted, it actually emits a gas, and if you were to completely close a bag without a one-way valve, the bag will blow up. It'll actually puff, and it'll eventually break the seal of a coffee bag. So the one-way valves allow the gas to emit out of the bag, but not let anything in.
Interesting.
So it's one. So it is not the. So it allows it to omit, but does not enter the bag.
Is there a time frame where you shouldn't drink it as soon as it's done roasting? Does that make sense? Like if you're roasting the beans, can you not drink it right away?
No, you can drink it right
Okay.
away. You just when you once you just have to. You have to give it into a container. We have barrels that
Okay.
you let it sit for 24 hours before you bag it. There's nothing before you put it into one of our sealed bags.
Sure.
But the bags that we sell over the counter, they're even if you take it right out of the roaster, those aren't airtight, so
Gotcha.
they would be perfectly fine. But if you seal it, or you have to have the ability for the coffee to degas, otherwise it'll pop, which we've had happen
Yes.
multiple
That's
times.
crazy.
If you don't get the hole poked in it, it's like the
if
bags
you don't,
start to.
yeah, if you don't have the hole in there right or whatever it is. So
So much science.
I know.
there is. It's one of those little things. It's like you have no clue what
I
goes
thought I
in.
knew a lot about coffee. I don't know anything about coffee.
Literally.
It's crazy. I really learned something. Like I started off in the coffee trucks, and then I started working in
Okay.
here. And before that, I was just like, oh, coffee. I sell it on the coffee truck. And now I love learning about it. And every day, Mike and Vinny teach me something new, and it's awesome. It's super fun.
That's one of the tough things with the coffee truck is because how you make coffee is also very, very important, and something we try to train our staff on is how to make the coffee in the coffee truck. So sometimes, if they're not putting enough the water's not hot enough, for example, or if the grind is too coarse or too fine, the character changes a lot. So
Yeah.
we try to teach the employees and teach the staff how to really make fresh coffee, and the store is we have all higher end brewers in here, so the taste profile here is pretty top notch.
So that brings up an interesting point because there's grounds like the coarseness of the coffee determines how hot you want your water, right? Doesn't that matter?
You want your water about 200 degrees. The coarseness could actually change how strong the coffee tastes.
Okay.
Because the coarser the grind, the easier the water extracts
Sure.
down. Where if it's a finer grind, it's harder for the water to extract, so it absorbs more of the coffee.
Oh, okay.
But the water temperature, you have to have it hot enough, otherwise it won't even extract.
Oh, okay.
That's
Interesting.
that's a mistake that.
So it's 200 degrees.
200 degrees, and that's the difference between. One thing I got to give Tim Hortons a lot of credit for is they do rotate their coffee. And
Oh, really?
coffee on a burner after 20 minutes is not good.
Yeah.
Air pots keep the air out. There's a lot of brewers out there, but Tim Hortons does a fantastic job of rotating their coffee. I mean, as you know from working there, you put the time
time
on it and you rotate it, and and those brewers have such that they're stainless steel hot water tanks basically in those brewers, and the water's hot, and a lot of these home brewers you get and they don't keep the water very hot, so it's important to have a good brewer that will maintain the temperature that you need to make your coffee.
Do you guys reuse anything? For example, most people take used coffee grounds and then put it in their garden for soil.
People come here
And
all
ask
the
for
time
it?
and are like, "Can you please save your grounds for me?" So we'll
Yep.
save them for you. Yeah.
And we just give them away.
Okay,
Yeah.
sweet.
We just give them away to people. Or burlap bags we give away. So I mean,
Yeah.
we like that again.
How many burlap bags do you have at a time? Estimate ballpark,
Oh, there's a ton back there.
I mean, I'd say we probably have between
like 50.
100,
Okay, 100.
100 and 150 on
Okay.
hand.
Okay.
A lot of people actually, we've had a couple employees that have decorated their barns with it. It's actually a cool rustic look. If you we do a lot with burlap, and it's hard to find actually.
I feel like burlap's the thing
And it's
now,
expensive,
too.
so
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
not gonna.
Like for weddings and stuff.
Yeah.
everybody
Oh
loves
yeah.
The rustic look.
The rustic look.
Yeah, Chip and Joanna Gaines changed the game.
Right? I know. My God.
Yeah.
They changed everything.
Absolutely.
I just read that book. It's a good book.
Yeah.
it. You do love that book.
I did. I talk about it all the time.
Actually, I'm sorry, I said wedding, so it just reminded me. But we also do wedding favors also.
Oh.
So like little coffee bags for favors and stuff like that. And baby showers and wedding showers.
Like we have a cool say that something's brewing, and if you picture
there
like
you
the
go.
sonogram.
yeah,
on
we
the
can
co-
do
on the
we can
coffee
do like
bag.
custom bags and all that good stuff too.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
Well, good. I like it.
So social media, we talked about it in the beginning, but you want to just highlight again where your social media is right now?
We're on Facebook and Instagram. So if you just search in Premium Coffee Co., we'll come up.
We are working on our on our social media a little bit. Morgan's recently been taking charge of that, and she's been adding that. We also have the Apple Tree is and the Queen City
Right.
Foods are both on social media as well. Apple Tree, if you're ever in, it's open to the public. So if you're ever it's on Union and Cheektowaga. If you're ever in that area,
The
I
coffee
highly
trucks too.
coffee
So
trucks.
even that, if you want to like get a service request, you can even go through Facebook.
And if you want one of our retail coffees on the coffee trucks, which is the higher end flavored or
Yeah, you can order,
You can order
pounds
that,
of coffee right through your
and
coffee.
it will bring it to you on the coffee
Truck.
truck.
Oh,
Like
cool.
if you're at your, if they come into your job and one of your guys want
Pound of Costa Rican.
somebody wants a pound of Costa Rican, we can bring it to you, and it'll be
They have like little order
retail brand.
forms. Yeah.
The order forms they have, and for catering as well. We can do different catering events.
Very nice. Okay. I like it.
Yeah. So anything else you guys want to highlight about your business? We're basically all done on our end. So
What do you think, more? What do you got?
what do you
I
got?
feel like we covered fundraising, favors, baskets, Breezeburg, mobile
I just want to
home.
I want to just thank all my staff for being incredible. I mean, I'm really am
wanna
fortunate.
thank you.
No, you guys are great. I mean, I'm
What
really.
a great way to end this episode.
That's true. I mean, I gotta say, I really would not be here without an amazing staff, from my mom, my dad helping with the baskets and everything, from all my managers to all the drivers to the Rochester, Apple Tree, the store. I'm just very, very grateful for amazing people to help grow the business with.
great. Well, thank you guys both for
And
your
Queen
time.
City Fresh Foods
Thank
too.
you, guys.
Definitely check out some of the food that we have. We'll have that in the store, and those people over there they're awesome workers as well. And all the food is high quality and fresh.
Great.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. That was awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely.
We'll get you
that
guys
was
your
I have little swag bags for them.
Nice.
cool, perfect
Swag bag.
swag
Love it.
bags.
And I'll get you guys some coffee too. So.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.